Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. My name is Sean Dex and I welcome you back to the Mango Grow for your daily Bitcoin USD analysis video. It's a brand new week and some brand new trading opportunities. And with this beautiful day, Bitcoin giving us a beautiful bounce just as we expected off the 7,700 regions. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing whether I'm looking for further upside and what targets. And hey, if we do see a rejection, are we looking at new lows? I'll be also talking about targets towards the downside if you are so inclined. I'll also be discussing as to why I think it is a good time to be considering altcoin positions, and I'll be giving you guys an update on a certain altcoin that I have been in, ChainLink BTC, and hey, even ChainLink USD. We'll be giving you guys an update on that. That trade has been going very well for us. So if you're interested in any of that, you better watch the rest of this video. And here we have Bitcoin USD on the daily. Let's go ahead and start with that. We'll turn on our horizontals, our drawing tools, and you can see that Bitcoin hasn't really done all that much on the higher time frames, still living in those ranges that we discussed more than 10 days ago now. We talked about how Bitcoin will be living and playing within the 8,700 range to the top side, 8,200 in the middle of the range, and 7,700 at the bottom. Last week we said that hey, if Bitcoin breaks the 8,200 range to the bottom, then we're going to likely see a flush down move all the way to 7,700, and that's exactly what we saw, guys. You can keep your trading this simple, the mango way, right? Be patient, wait for the obvious trades. All you had to do was wait for the candle to close, take your position, wait another day, be patient. At most you see further downside, yes, some pullbacks, but then literally 24 hours later you see the move go your way just as predicted. Now yes, we do not get all the way down to 7,700, but even that is expected. And guys, I must emphasize on this, right? I see far too many traders get far too stubborn, and they're like, you know what, I'm only going to wait for the trade to come down to my level, to my exact take profit. If not, I'm going to let it go back on me, right? And you're just giving up free money, right? You got to understand that this is how you need to think about it. As the trade is moving down in your direction, right, how much are you risking for how much percent? Because if the trade has already moved all the way down to 7,787, right, you are risking the trade bouncing on you and going all the way back to where you took your position for $87, maybe less. It's not worth it, right? Start taking profits around as you start getting a little closer and you see that hey, the market is giving you some kind of resistance, some kind of support. In this case, take your profits. If you're playing the ranges, when you're playing the trend, it's a completely different story, right? I'm talking about playing the ranges over here, right? If you took your position off the 8,200 level, I'm assuming that you're playing it off these ranges. Now if you're playing it off the EMAs, that's a different story. We're not talking about that. Now, as you can see, we did not make it all the way down to 7,700. I got a few questions on that this morning. Why is that? Well, this is actually expected, right? The bulls, the big players are going to try and defend the low that was put over here at around 7,000. This is Coinbase 7,701, right? And you want to see that if you are looking for Bitcoin to move to the further towards the upside, this is what you're looking for. You're looking for the bulls to defend 7,701. So you got to keep that in mind as well when you're playing the ranges. You can't be stubborn and be like, nope, I'm only going to wait for that. Take into consideration the other market participants and what they are going to do. Okay, now this is where it gets interesting. If you guys do remember from my video last week, when we put in this low over here, okay, this candle right over here on 26 September, the low was 7,712. And I had said that I am expecting Bitcoin to come down and sweep the lows, okay? That time around, I wasn't expecting the lows to get defended. And you may ask, hey Sean, what the hell? Okay, aren't you contradicting yourself over there? No, because you need to start, as you gain more experience, right, and you start noticing certain things, start keeping track of that either on a on an Excel sheet or a trading journal and start asking questions. Why is this happening? I'm noticing this happening a lot. Is it just my bias that's noticing it, or is this actually happening a lot? Okay, this actually happens a lot, where the first time a low is put in, you see a lot of retail traders try and catch the bounce, try and be knife catchers. And what do if they actually do catch a good bounce? They put their stop losses right underneath the low over there, right? Now, the bigger players, the market movers, they know that the retail traders are doing this, right? So that's why I said, hey, we're going to come down and sweep the lows. What I'm talking about is sweeping the stop losses, tapping into that liquidity, and then seeing the move to in the opposite direction, shaking out all those traders who actually got good positions in. Now, the second time around, however, I don't look for that. The second time around, I'm looking for that low to get defended. I want the bulls to put in a higher low, okay? And then perhaps a higher high. That's what I want to see. Now, does that mean we don't see something similar like that happening again? Of course not. We could, but in that case, if I see it, I would put the probability of us breaking down even more, and then I'd be a little hesitant to start taking aggressive range trades off this level. Okay, now this is exactly what I'd be looking for. If I had a good position off this 8,200 level here, and I was looking for the move all the way down to the range trade towards this level, I wouldn't be waiting for 7,700. I'd be taking my profits a little bit earlier, expecting the bulls to defend this low over here. Now, the next trade after that is to take the long off this level, especially when you see the higher low being defended, right? Now, unfortunately, this morning I actually missed this trade, and I was actually bummed because I was awake for this, but I missed it. Okay, I was busy catching up on my readings, and I just got caught up in it, and before I knew it, time flew by, and I missed a long over here. Now we're in a situation where I wouldn't want to see Bitcoin come down and put a low over here, but a higher low I would long. As you can see, Bitcoin is seeing some resistance over here, right? Why is that? Well, you could look at it two ways. You could play a resistance level of these candle closes over here. You can see these daily candles, they all have almost the same daily candle close level. You can go ahead and mark that over here, and you can see that Bitcoin is facing resistance right over there. If we turn on over to the lower time frame, you can see that we also have a channel going on over here, right? A descending channel that Bitcoin is playing in, and we found resistance on the top of the channel over here too, combined with the candle closes that we just talked about on the daily expected. Now, if you are playing the lower time frames, all you had to do was scalp this channel, and there were a lot of profits to be made, right? Simply sell the top of the channel, buy the bottom of the channel. Keep doing that until the channel breaks one way or the other. I also want to talk about that. The channel breaking. This is considered a bullish channel, right? A bullish channel. Why? Because it's a falling channel, and these typically break to the upside. Now, all that means is that there's a probability of this breaking to the upside. This doesn't mean that it needs to break to the upside. It could break to the downside too. In fact, what I've been noticing recently is that channels have been breaking in the direction that they are trending, especially on the altcoins. And I want to ask you guys this question. Why is it that channels that are descending are considered bullish, and why is it that channels that are rising are considered bearish? Okay, a lot of people know that a rising channel is bearish and a descending channel is bullish, but why? Have you guys asked why? I have my answer, I have my theory, I have my understanding of the psychology of why it is considered that. I want you guys, however, to give me your thoughts and your opinions, because I want the Mango community to stop simply taking things for what it is, right? And asking the question, why? Why is this happening? Why is it considered bullish? Why is it considered bearish? Okay, start asking the question, why? Trading shouldn't be black and white, okay? Trading should be black and white. Technical analysis is taken as far too black and white, and it causes losses in the long term. If you guys start asking why, you guys will protect yourself against very, very obvious trading mistakes that amateurs and even intermediate traders make. All right, so we talked about this decreasing channel, right? and oh sorry, declining channel, this falling channel, and how it could very well break to the downside. If it does break to the downside, especially if it breaks at this point over here, right, at this level over here, somewhere around this region, right, we're getting very close to 7,700, guys. That is the bottom of the range. If we break this bottom of this range over here, right, I am looking for further downside. As you guys can see, I have marked out this falling channel on the higher time frames. Now, one could debate that, hey, this is not a falling channel, you don't have enough touches, but I've not drawn this right? You could use the wicks over there and you can see that 1 touch, 2 touches, 3 touches. I really don't care if it's a falling channel or not, guys. You guys know I'm not a pattern trader. If we break this to the downside, I'm looking for further downside. Now the question is where? Well, we can simply go back over here and look at these levels over here, right? We talked about this in one of our previous videos. 7,400 is a really nice level. Perhaps these candle closes 7,600, but I'd be looking at around this level over here, guys, 7,200. And why is that? Well, primarily because I'll be looking at the higher time frames, and we can look at the weekly for that. When it comes to Bitcoin now, it's best to just play the high time frames. Minimum, the 4-day, weekly, monthly is what I would consider the higher time frames, right? And I do have something marked out over here. You can see it's the weekly 89 EMA. If we turn on our EMA ribbons, I believe it's this template over here I have, yep, right there. You can see the 89 EMA lining up exactly with that 7,000, 7,200 level, right? That is on the weekly. By the way, guys, we did talk about the 55 EMA, right, on the weekly, about how I'm expecting a bounce. So there we did see that bounce, but it got sold into. As things stand, we have a brand new week that just opened. We are seeing another bounce off that level. Can it hold? Can it hold? Typically, you don't want to see us spend so much time off a strong bounce, right? We did not get that strong bounce. Not yet at least. But people say that typically, the longer you spend there, the more likely it is to break. I have my doubts about that. I've expressed my thoughts on that in the past videos. I don't want to get into that just yet. However, if we do break to the downside, if we do break the channel to the downside, it could lead to a cascading series of events where we could come and see the bottom of this 89 EMA being met. Okay, that would line up with this channel as well, especially if we wick onto that and then see a bounce and close above, right? Perhaps close above 7,370-ish, lining up with the candle close I just showed you guys on the daily. We can go ahead and look at that right now just for your reference, right over here. This candle close right over here, 7,236, right? So if we see that bounce on the weekly of the 89 EMA, we could see a close into this channel lining up with that as well. Now there are other things lining up with this as well. I do believe the 3-day, let's go ahead and turn on our Ichimoku, 3-day 200 MA is coming in right over there. Yep, the 3-day 200 MA coming in at 7,000 as well. So we have the weekly 89 EMA, the 3-day 200 MA. Now for those of you who are just tuning in, just joining us on our mango journey, you guys know that while we were taking this big trade towards the upside, a key level that I was looking at was right here, the 3-day 200 MA towards the upside, right? We played the edge to edge, right? When we added to our trade heavily in this area here, played the edge to edge all the way up to the top of the cloud. What was I looking for us to add to our position? Do you guys remember? I was looking for us to close above the 3-day 200 MA and then see a retest, perhaps all the way down to this area, right? This is Coinbase. Where do we come down to on Coinbase? 6,600. I do believe on some exchanges we got all the way down to 6,200, right? Tested the Tenkin. Deribit, I believe we came down to 6,200. That was a crazy day. The volatility was nuts in that period. We were literally jumping $1,000 within a few seconds. It's crazy that nobody talked about that as much as it should have been talked about. Anyways, as you can see, this was a key level back then that once we crossed, I'd added on to my position over here and we saw that further up thrust, right, going all the way up to freaking almost 14K. Now, if we come down over there again, 7,000, that's going to be a key area, guys, for me. If we lose that, I'm going to be very bearish on Bitcoin. If we start closing 3-day candles underneath the 3-day 200 MA, my opinion will flip. As to whether this is a bull market or not. Definitely, we lose 7,000, definitely, right? More lines up for that. We talked about the weekly levels lining up there. We talked about the 3-day levels lining up over there as well. I can talk about the 4-day, but I'm going to keep this video short. I now want to talk about the monthly levels. In fact, let's go ahead and clear this up for now. and turn on the monthly. Do I have enough price history on Coinbase for this? Let's go ahead and check it out. We'll turn on the this level, this template right here. As you can see, we are lined up with the 12 EMA. We talked about that last week, but the 10 SMA coming in at 7,200, and we have the 21 EMA coming in at 6,919. So this region over here, right, we can go ahead and mark it out like this with a box territory like that, right, underlining or kind of like giving us a perimeter around the key levels that we talked about. 7,200, 6,900 is giving us that zone between 7,000 and 7,200 ish, right? This is our monthly levels, guys. Our monthly levels. If we lose this as well, I'm definitely getting bearish. If we close a monthly underneath this, I'm definitely going to be looking for moves towards the downside, perhaps all the way down back down to 4,000 ish, right? I believe the weekly 200 MA coming in at around 4,600. Wow, there's a lot coming in at that. Yep, the weekly 200 MA coming in at 4,600. We don't want to see Bitcoin break this zone over here, not at all, because it will also be lining up with the break of this falling channel, right? Let's go ahead and look at that right now. A break of this falling channel. We'll be losing monthly levels, key levels, weekly levels, the 3-day 200 MA, as well as this falling channel. Now people will be saying, hey, the falling channel is a bullish channel. Why is it a bullish channel, right? Why? Just think about it for a second. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm not saying it's not. But I want you guys to really think about it. So that way, when you guys start thinking about things, you won't think in absolutes anymore. You guys need to know that pattern trading, anything, EMA trading, trend trading, Fibonacci trading, anything, support and resistance, nothing is a certainty. Everything is a probability. You think in a if this then that manner, the mango way. You'll trade stress-free and take profits even when you make wrong calls. I've been stressing this ever since I started this channel. It's not about being right, it's about picking the right direction when the time is right. Sometimes when you're wrong, you know what the right direction is, and that's the point. Okay, a lot of technical analysis is knowing about when you're wrong. It's not about knowing when you're right, guys. Okay, so that's what I have on the high time frames, guys. If we do break 7,700 towards the downside, I'll be looking towards this zone over here, 6,900 to around 7,200. We don't want to be losing that. Okay, we do not want to be losing that. So that's what I have for you guys towards the downside. I spent a lot of time talking about that. Towards the upside, well, Bitcoin needs to break it. We take it one step at a time. Bitcoin needs to break 8,200 first. If we break 8,200 on the daily, I'll be looking for that test finally towards 8,700. I do believe that we do have key levels coming down there. The 21 EMA should be coming down there by now. Yes, wow, perfectly. Wow, I did that math pretty well in my head. So yeah, we will be clearing the 10 SMA on the daily, which is pretty important, and then we'll have that kind of like span trade going, range span trade going from 8,200 on the 10 SMA towards 8,700 on the 21 EMA, lining up with our ranges here, right? When you see this kind of confluence in your trade setups, that's when the probability increases. That's when you can have more confidence in taking that trade to the upside. So for those of you who didn't manage to get a position here at the bottom, hey, if we can close, or Bitcoin can close above 8,200, 8,180-ish, you guys may have a really nice trade opportunity on your hands, right? But I might be inclined to taking some profits at around 8,200. Wait to see if we break. Wait to see if we can clear a 4-hour, couple of 4-hour candles above this level, and then let the rest ride. Hey, but this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research and trade with the right risk management. Okay, so now let's go ahead and talk about Bitcoin dominance. I do want to give you guys an update on that, right? Because I talked about it last maybe a week ago, and I talked about how I think it might be time to start looking at odds, because Bitcoin is giving us some signs, and you can switch on over to Bitcoin dominance right over here. And as you can see, this is an empty chart. I'll go ahead and turn on our horizontals. Do we have anything drawn? Okay, yeah, so we do have some things drawn over here. But what's more important is to look at our Ichimoku, because this is what really got me very, very aggressive on my altcoin trades recently. We got the bearish TK cross, right, on the Ichimoku, on the Bitcoin dominance chart. For those of you who don't know what the Bitcoin dominance chart, it basically is a representation of how well Bitcoin is doing compared to the alts. Simply put, usually when you see Bitcoin dominance go down, it means that the altcoins are going up. How much is Bitcoin dominating in price action compared to the alts is what this chart is essentially telling you, right? As you can see, when Bitcoin was running, right, and also doing really, really bad, Bitcoin dominance was going up, 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 up. Now suddenly you start seeing a topping like formation over here, the cloud beginning to come into equilibrium. You have your Tenkin, your Kijun Sen, and your cloud, your actual cloud, all coming in tight into price action, right, with your topping formation. And then as Krisha, I do believe Krisha pointed out, we have a head and shoulders top, okay, a head and shoulders top, which is a reversal top into your bearish TK cross, into your edge to edge possibility, right? As soon as we enter the cloud over here, we close inside the cloud. I was like, all right, this is it, guys. This is confirmation for my theory, my thesis. For those of you who have been in the Telegram group, I've been calling altcoins are going to run. Altcoins are going to run all the way like early September. There were signs. I don't want to go over them all. And a few of you are laughing at me, but hey, ChainLink, right? Like, I'm not a Bitcoin bull-tard or an Ethereum bull-tard. A lot of people thought that I was trading Ethereum too aggressively back when it ran from 134 to 200 plus. It was because, hey, it was the easy trade at the time. I look for the easy trades, guys. I'm just looking to collect Bitcoin in the long run. Right now over here, when I start seeing things like this, I start looking for easier trades. ChainLink was that easy trade that was staring me in the face. It was like, we're a good 50% up on that. 50 freaking percent, guys. Anyways, what am I looking at over here? Before we talk about ChainLink, let's talk about what's going on over here. Well, we have a possible edge-to-edge trade over here, and that is a good 6%. Okay, Bitcoin dropping down in dominant 6%. That means that against all altcoins, there's going to be a lot of opportunity, and altcoins run hard when they do, right? You also have the head-to-head, Jesus Christ, I've been saying edge to edge far too much. You have your head and shoulders over here as well, right? You can go ahead and draw horizontals again and show your left shoulder, your head, and your right shoulder, and the break right here, right? So a lot of things lining up with the idea that, hey, Bitcoin may want to see this move all the way towards the downside. Now, this is where things get a little difficult. We are at the bottom of the range over here, right, on Bitcoin. Let me go ahead and pull up Bitcoin again. We're at the bottom of this range that we did discuss. I'll turn off our EMAs, actually. Zoom out. We're at the bottom of this range over here, right? So the only way Bitcoin, not the only way, but one of the ways that altcoins keep running is if Bitcoin goes sideways. So if we simply range over here, then altcoins are going to have more breathing room, because typically when you see Bitcoin start surging upwards, you don't want to be in altcoins because they tend to take moves towards the downside, right? I just got an alert on my XRP trade. Let me go ahead and see how my XRP trade is doing. Okay, wow, nice XRP, good job. Yeah, so guys, like, this is another, like, I did give you guys an update on XRP last week, right? XRP2 again doing really good, breaking through these regions over here. I added on this weekly support. Now if you close over here, this is probably going next level, 3838. But I'm so deep in profits now. I've taken some profits through that. I'm going to likely let this run at least to 4147. Let's go ahead and look at the Ichimoku heavy. That's lining up with that 3941, top of the 200 MA, lining up with the target I just mentioned. So I'll be probably looking at that now. Like, you don't need to be looking for the hard trades all the time. Don't get too tunnel vision, guys. Don't bandwagon with the rest of the trading community on YouTube, on Twitter, whatever it is, right? Okay, so let's go back on over to BTC. Okay, no, actually now let's talk about ChainLink. We talked about Bitcoin, we talked about the high time frames, we talked about the lower time frames, we talked about Bitcoin dominance, and yeah, we can do a quick update on this link trade that has been goddamn, like, we nailed this, right? If you guys been following me on this link journey, I charted this with you guys. I've done like 3 or 4 videos now where I laid out my game plan. I laid out the levels that I was looking at, and as this was developing, we added onto a position. We took profits at key levels right over here. If you guys do remember, I believe it was the 12-hour Kijun edge-to-edge trade. Yep, the 200 MA, right? Very similar to what I just talked to you guys about Bitcoin on the 3-day 200 MA, the rejection first, then breaking it, adding to a position. We did exactly that. It's the same plays. We repeat repeat over and over and over again. Do they have to work out all the time? No, it's probability. But when they do work out, look at the wins you get. Look at the wins you get. We added over here, right? This is where you start taking a trade. Yep. No, actually lower than that. Damn. And holy shit, 72%, man, 72%. Yeah, so you don't need to catch the entire, like, you don't even need to catch the entire thing, guys. Even if you enter somewhere around here, it's good. Just, it's, the key is to not get too tunnel vision on things. And let me go clear everything out, turn our horizontals back, and I do want to talk about what's going on over here now, right? So I talked about, if you guys remember the last ChainLink video, a lot of people said, hey guys, Sean, this is really hardcore resistance. I agree with you guys. I talked about, however, though, that I said that the resistance that mattered to me was these guys over here underneath, and we broke that. We were closing levels, we were closing multiple 4-hour candles above that, right? Let's go ahead and look at that right now. Does this right over here, right above this green zone. The trap to me was everybody looking at this zone over here, these two dotted lines that I was just highlighting on the on the daily time frame. This area, everybody was looking at that as the major resistance. Now, of course, I can't be confident on anything. I don't want to come off as that either. Everything's a probability, but I had a stinking feeling that that was a trap to get people to give liquidity. Why was I looking at it that way? Because over here, as you can see, this was a trap. This was a bullish kind of formation that we broke to the upside, turned out to be a trap, drew in liquidity, and we dumped hardcore back down, right? So I was looking at the same area right here. Let's go ahead and mark that out, right there, right, as a trap as well, right? This entire zone you could look at it as a trap as well. Going back to a 4-hour now, okay, right over here. So what do I say to you guys? Okay, now at the same time I was cautious. I was looking at this. I'm going to look for signs to see whether we're actually going to dump down. When we put in a bearish kind of wedge over here, rising wedge, we did see that drive to the downside, but this was a big clue. We met the measured move, right? Perfect measured move. And what do you see after that? It got bought right back, guys. Got bought. That was bullish. And then we put in an accumulation pattern. I said, what I say? I'm looking for accumulation. And when I see those signs for accumulation, which was the bullish divergence, the bearish divergences converting into bullish divergences, I'm going to be adding my position and getting my entire position back and adding to it. I did that, got the break a few days later, 12 hours later. I'm losing track of time, and this was a nice move, another 16% move. Now I'm seeing signs of this again. Actually, I just added to my position right after we closed a 1 hour above this. I'll be adding a little bit more. I'm not, but very little, because I'm only I'm exposed over here. I don't get too exposed, but as long as we start closing multiple candles above this region over here, it's the same story, guys. It's the same story. ChainLink is printing ascending triangles after ascending triangles at resistance levels and breaking past them, right? So I just noticed a request from Junkai. Not sure how to pronounce your name, but damn, that's such a cool name, man. Such a cool name. So Junkai asks, where's ChainLink gonna retrace to? Because I think he sold his bag prematurely. So yeah, where would ChainLink retrace to? What would I be looking when would I be looking for a retrace? Well, currently I'm actually looking for continuation, man, to be honest with you. I'm looking for continuation. But if you do see this being a trap over here and the sellers come in, the bears come in and sell aggressively into this, I'll be looking for ChainLink to close a 4-hour underneath 26960. Close 4-hour candles underneath 2690, then I'll be looking for ChainLink to come back and retest this area right over here, right? This would be a buy zone for me. But if you see that kind of rejection and a trap, it'll be a little scary. I don't want to be catching a falling knife. I'll be looking at Bitcoin and seeing what Bitcoin is doing. I know you looked at Bitcoin this morning at 7,700 and assumed it was gonna dump. John Kai, not the mango way, not the mango way. You don't play the scared way. Assume it's gonna bounce when you're sitting at support. And if we come here though, I'll be looking at Bitcoin and seeing what is Bitcoin doing. Bitcoin's pumping, right? I will not be expecting ChainLink to be performing well against Bitcoin. In that case, I'll be looking at ChainLink USD. Okay, so yeah, so that's ChainLink. I also am in an RVN trade over here. Let's go ahead and look at that. That just broke out today as well. Again, same story. This wasn't a ascending triangle. This was more of a symmetrical triangle. We had this over here, right, from this to this, breaking out, meeting the measured move, almost perfectly, shooting a little bit up. But I'm not playing the lower time frames. I'm using the lower time frame just for more confluence, but you can look at it on the daily, I believe. Yep, we have an edge to edge trade. possibility all the way up to here, but on the 12-hour, same story, right? Breaking, testing the 200 MA, putting in your flag like formation, breaking it over. Now if we close above this, I'm likely going to be adding a little bit more, but I have a good enough position. I don't know. Things are looking so good on the altcoin side. You guys see what I'm talking about now, right? Look at the moves they're getting. I had a position all the way from around 355 already around 15%, and this thing is just getting started in my opinion. So that's I do have a couple of others, but I don't want to talk about it. I don't want, like, the guy, I've been posting all of these trades to everybody in the seed program. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have been taking advantage of those trade setups, right? If you guys have any questions. Oh, and by the way, I know some of you guys have been wondering whether you can PM me and ask me questions regarding the setups, and yes, of course, that's completely fine, because I don't want you guys to be copying setups without understanding what you're doing, how you're doing it, what I'm looking at, why I'm looking at it a certain way, and why I'm taking the setup, right? Ask questions. The entire point of Mango is to grow and learn. It's not a call group, right? So by all means, ask away, right? All right, so what else do I want to talk about? We talked about Bitcoin dominance, talked about altcoins, talked about Chainlink. There's a lot of there's so much to talk about, but I think I covered the important things over here. Now again, the question is, does Bitcoin want to break the channel to the downside or to the upside? All we have to do is wait. As things stand, we are living above the Tenkin. Are we living above the EMA as well? Nope, the EMA is lining up with that resistance over here, which is our daily candle close resistance, right? So a lot of confluence over there. I wouldn't be looking to be longing over there. I wouldn't be looking to be longing over there. At the same time, I wouldn't be looking to be short over there either, right? Because we could very well pop. We found support at the bottom of the range, and we could very well go and test the middle of the range now, which is 8,200. If we do get a rejection here and see further downside, that would be a nod to the bears. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. I'm simply collecting Bitcoin until we get some clarity on what is going on the higher time frames. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. My name is Sean Dexter. I will see you guys in the next video.